Welcome to Future Direct. We are an employment permit and immigration specialists in Ireland. This video briefly introduces the employment permit system in Ireland for prospective employers or employees. There are 9 different types of employment permits in Ireland. The most common 2 types are the General Employment Permit and the Critical Skills Employment Permit. Let's take a look at the Critical Skills Employment Permit first. What are the requirements for a Critical Skills Employment Permit? There are 2 pathways to obtaining a Critical Skills Employment Permit. The first pathway requires you to fulfill the 3 criteria. The employment offer must provide a minimum basic salary of €38,000. The job title must be on the Critical Skills Occupations list, where you can find the link in the description below. The foreign national must have a relevant 3rd-level degree to the employment offered. The second pathway requires the employment offer to provide a minimum basic salary of €64,000. There's no mandatory requirement for a relevant 3rd-level degree or to comply with the Critical Skills Occupations list. If you don't meet the criteria for a Critical Skills Employment Permit, you could apply for a General Employment Permit. Most jobs would fall under this category, except for those on the Ineligible List of Occupations for Employment Permits, where you can find the link in the description below. The General Employment Permit requires a minimum basic salary of €34,000. The foreign national must have relevant qualifications or experience for the employment. So, what are the basic requirements from the employer's end? Firstly, the employer needs to be registered and trading in Ireland. Secondly, the ratio of EEA national employees in the company needs to be higher than that of non-EEA nationals at the time of application for a work permit. Lastly, the minimum salary requirement for the applicable employment permit type must be met in the job offer. For example, €38,000 for a Critical Skills Employment Permit or €34,000 for a General Employment Permit. The minimum salary threshold may be subject to change over time. For the latest information, please contact us. Before you apply for an employment permit, you must first secure a job with a company in Ireland. Once you have secured a job and an employment contract, you can apply for the employment permits. How to apply for an employment permit? This is performed with the employer's assistance or by an experienced immigration agent such as Future Direct. How long is an employment permit valid? The General Employment Permits can be issued for an initial period of 2 years and can then be renewed for up to 3 years. After the completion of these 5 years, the employee can apply for a Stamp 4. The Critical Skills Employment Permit can be issued for 2 years only. After the completion of these 2 years, the employee can apply for a Stamp 4. What is the current processing time for an employment permit? The processing time with the government is usually 4 to 6 weeks. The processing time is subject to change. For the latest information, please visit the DETE website in the description below. However, if an employer is a trusted partner of the DETE, processing time can be fast-tracked. What is the application fee for an employment permit? The application fee for an employment permit is €1,000 for up to 24 months. The fee is payable to the DETE when submitting the permit application. If the application is unsuccessful or withdrawn, 90% of the cost will be refunded to the applicant. What happens after the employment permit is granted? Once the employment permit is granted, the foreign national may take up the employment with the Irish employer. If the foreign national is outside of Ireland and is from a visa-required country, he must apply for a visa to enter Ireland. This processing time for the visa could vary between 6 to 12 weeks. If the foreign national is already in Ireland with a valid visa, he can join or continue the employment immediately, based on the employment permit granted. It is important to note that when an employee is granted an employment permit, the employee is expected to stay with the initial employer for at least 12 months, unless in exceptional circumstances. When a permit holder changes employer, a new employment permit application must be made with the new employer. If you have any questions about applying for the employment permit or need assistance, please reach out to us and let us help with your employment permit. Thank you for watching.